For the City of Coral Gables Commission, and you're welcome to take your mask off. We're on this side of the plexiglass, so you're good.
I appreciate
All
it.
right. So
Thank you.
how long have you lived in Coral Gables?
I've lived in Coral Gables for 33 years.
That's it?
That's it, because I met my husband in 1986, and then he told me how wonderful Coral Gables was.
Where were you living then?
I was living in Miami Lakes.
Oh, Miami Lakes is Graham country. Come on.
I was in Graham country, yes.
And it still is Graham country. There's still cows in Miami Lakes.
There's still cows in Miami Lakes, but at the time I moved in there, Palmetto Expressway wasn't even a Palmetto Expressway. It was
did you go to high school back then? There?
I did go to high school back then.
Which high school did you go to?
Hialeah, Miami Lakes.
What years?
Oh,
I don't want to know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
But Miami Lakes was like a no man's land back then.
It was no man's land, and there was a dirt road to Davie.
Yeah, right. And people, right. It's funny you say that because it was like another world. And back then there was only one Shula's restaurant. Now there's two, kind of. So it gets confusing. I'll meet you at Shula's. Which one?
Which one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's changed quickly. So you went to high school in Miami Lakes.
Went to my high school in Miami Lakes.
Then after that?
Yeah, I did graduate actually in 1978. So puts a little date on me. After that, I started college.
Where? Which one?
I took the tour of the colleges. I started out at Miami-Dade Community College, went to FIU, also went to University of Miami, had a scholarship at the time with the ROTC, and ultimately did graduate with an undergraduate degree from University of Miami.
Well, I went to Miami-Dade FIU. My brother went to Miami-Dade FIU. That was a great route.
It was a great route.
So you graduated University of Miami in what degree?
At that time, I got both I shouldn't say at that time. I got an English degree.
It wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't that long ago, no.
Who was the president of Miami, UM then?
Oh, you're pressing me now. I was working and going to school at the same time. So wow. I was a very busy person. My minor was in economics, and I had a strong accounting background. I shifted my major from accounting to English.
So what did you do after you graduated UM?
I went to Nova Law School. So I was trekking up and down the highway to
and where were you living at the time?
With my parents.
In Miami Lakes?
In Miami Lakes.
That's the truck. You know, you had to go through back then there were no lights, traffic lights. Well, Miami Lakes there weren't.
No, at that time there wasn't. So, you know, we used the expressway a lot. I was going back and forth between UM and Nova at a certain period of time.
Wow.
Over the summer, so a lot up and down the highway.
All right, so you moved to Coral Gables, get married, moved to Coral Gables.
I got married
in 1986.
1986, 1987.
Coral Gables has changed a lot, but really hasn't changed that much. It's a great, to me, that is the downtown of Dade County. Used to be downtown was off Flagler and First. No, downtown has moved to Coral Gables. You go from the richest of the rich to the poorest of the poor, and the greatest businesses in Coral Gables. I love Coral Gables. I used to back in '86. They used to have the bus station.
Oh yeah,
right.
The Greyhound bus station. Well, my husband grew up in Coral Gables. His family had businesses there. They had 4 historic apartment buildings.
Do they still have them?
No, those were all sold off.
Oh. But they're still historical properties.
They're still historical properties. I mean, his mother's 95 now.
Spring chicken,
and his father passed away. So, properties were sold, and my kids grew up there. We loved the area.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 girls. Neither one of them are living with us right now, and with COVID, we haven't seen them much.
They live in Miami?
They live in California. One is an air traffic controller, got stationed out in California.
LA?
LA area.
Right.
At a center near Palmdale. It's the Palmdale
Riverdale,
center.
Riverside, Palm Springs.
Palmdale, very dry, arid, fires.
And the
so
other
I told him, why don't you come back home? So at least you can predict the hurricanes coming.
And the other daughter?
The other daughter is a hydrogeologist.
What?
She works for USGS.
What's USGS?
United States Geologic Service. She tests water quality, and she is.
Where is she stationed?
She is in wine country. which also burns a lot.
Right. Testing water. That's another interesting thing about Miami. Miami Beach and those waters, almost 3/4 of the time you can't swim there because it's contaminated.
I
People
know.
don't realize how much it is contaminated.
Yeah, I know. And I sadly couldn't recommend my daughter that has our grandchildren to take the kids to the beach there because of the concerns we have about the water quality there. I mean, at the time these kids were growing up, we used to go down to the waterway and you could see the manatees, you could see the fish swimming around in there. And I think, that influenced somewhat my youngest one's career to see that waterway turn murky over time. It's a complicated issue.
It is very complicated. Is it the state? Is the feds? Who maintains the waterways? There's local cities don't get funded for it. So you have to go to the state. Happens that Coral Gables has some good state reps.
We do. Unfortunately, we're a minority county in a way because you have 67 counties, and the last batch of funding that came through to do the conversion from septic to sewer focused on more of the northern counties that had great springs.
Oh, you've been reading up on this. That's good.
I've been working on it for some time. I mean, I was on the sustainability board for a period of time.
Coral Gables.
Of Coral Gables. Tried to push to get more funding in. I know that, Irela Bagay has been working on that as well to try to get more funding in for our county. Other counties have gotten grants. They've, helped the residents along with the transition because we have a critical problem in the low-lying areas where these septic tanks exist.
Great.
So
part of Pinecrest has that issue. Coral Gables has that issue.
Right.
So we skipped over. What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I am a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 33 years. Done a variety of work. Started out in criminal law, expanded into a variety of civil litigation. I mostly represent businesses now that distribute products and have to get registrations and comply with.
So where's your office?
It's across from the Publix on Lejeune.
Next to the hotel? Oh, there's a Publix there?
There's a Publix, the Aloft Hotel, that centralized area.
Right.
3 blocks or so from City Hall.
And how long you been there?
At that particular location, I've been at least 10 years. I know I've been at least 10 years. And prior to that, I was in the City National Bank building that got torn down to build the Burger King and Bacardi building.
When you graduated law school, what did you do right after law school?
I opened my own practice.
Right away?
Yes.
That's unusual, isn't it?
It would be unusual, yes.
Now?
Especially now. But back then, for a female starting out, going into a large firm would not have allowed me any time with my family to raise my children and have that quality time with them that I wanted to have.
What's your spouse do for a living?
At the time, he was working for Metro Rail. Okay, he retired before that, he was what he called a bellboy. He worked for the Bell system. And
now Bell Systems, AT&T.
Yeah, and then in about 2000, he had to retire due to medical issues and disability issues. So he could no longer work. So.
Okay. People want to know everything about you. So what is the reasoning? Yes, Governor, please hold.
Remind me. I better put this one on silent too.
Okay, so I'm putting mine on silence. Okay, so what's the decision why you're running for Coral Gables?
That decision began long ago, and it was an evolution like many things in life. I started out getting involved with some traffic issues and, I should say also building design issues back when my kids were still living with us and they were teenagers. The Bacardi building, which was then known as the Burger King building, was being brought into the area. And they reached out to the neighbors in the block across. And we met with them and discussed how we could resolve the traffic issues. So they offered us some money in the block. And I said, I don't want the money. I want the traffic issues resolved. Because giving me $25,000 and giving other neighbors a few bucks along the line is not going to resolve the long-term issues that we're going to face from the traffic cutting through our area. So as a result of those meetings and forming a neighborhood group, canvassing the entire area. We were able to meet with the former mayor of the county before he made it to mayor, bring back the impact fees of $500,000 to install the Segovia median, the trees, the bike lanes when we're part of that project, and add the traffic calming devices that were added in on one block off of Lejeune, which is Hernando Street. Got a street diverter, sidewalks, drainage fixed at the developer's expense. And we had that money put in that pool for that reason. So that started my
Career.
traffic calming.
Everybody uses the word traffic. I like the word transportation.
Yeah.
It's not a traffic issue. It's a transportation issue.
Yeah.
Our transportation system is broken.
Oh, it's been broken for a long time.
Right. Or it's never been fixed, but it's a transportation problem. Cutler Bay has doubled its population in 10 years. Doubled.
Right.
Homestead is probably tripled. And those people all going north, going through Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, South Miami, then to the Gables.
Right. This is an issue I started looking at when I was at Miami-Dade Community College. Wrote a paper about it. I said this was the rail to nowhere. At that time, it didn't go to the airport. It didn't really serve the community well. And it didn't reach down to Homestead where it should have.
Well, Hurricane Andrew hit and crushed the airport, Homestead Air Force Base.
Yes.
Now it's the Homestead Reserve Base. Back then, the traffic wasn't so bad because there was a lot of jobs in Homestead. Now there's no jobs at the base. So all those people are coming north.
Right.
So that's the challenge we're having, is transportation. So what other major issues are there in Coral Gables other than transportation, other than the Wawa gas station people are talking about, other than Miracle Mile that people are talking about? Not that there are problems with discussions. The parks are great in Coral Gables. Maybe you could have more. The people are great. So there's not a lot of issues, but there's some issues. We have transportation. What other issues do you see?
Well, construction is something that I'm going to go back, not just transportation, but we need pedestrian areas that are friendly. We need pedestrian areas that are shaded.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go to that. What areas in Dade County has good things like you're talking about?
Shaded pedestrian
areas,
walkways and areas. It's mostly when I travel that I see.
Or whatever country. It doesn't have to be Miami. Other places have better spots. In Chicago, New York, are they good? I don't know.
Well, if you walk the streets of New York and Washington, D.C. and areas like that where you have, park areas for people to go to, it was somewhat influenced by the weather, too, because you needed somewhere to shove the snow. Being in Miami-Dade County, we didn't need that space, so we built out.
So when it's winter, that's where the snow goes into the park?
No, well, that and on the sidewalks. You'll notice when you go to D.C., you have these really nice wide sidewalks. And it makes it fantastic because you're not shoved against the traffic on Lejeune. My house is like 3 blocks or 4 blocks from City Hall. I walk to my office, so I see that all the time.
You're an exception to the rule. Most people drive the car, so you walk, so you understand the feeling of Coral Gables.
I do. And I've seen and I've talked to people that have been hit by the vehicles, closely hit by the vehicles, not enough enforcement because we don't have sufficient coverage for the speeding people or the people that are cutting off the pedestrians. So, there's a significant amount of issues there. And through working with development, we have the Villa Valencia that's going in on Valencia and Hernando. When that project started, it was a 135 unit building. But we worked with the neighbors and worked with the developer. We got it down to a 39 unit condominium unit. So that really helps decrease the traffic. They are going to be paying for and doing some of the work on the intersections of Lejeune and Valencia to improve that intersection. That was part of the package that the neighbors agreed to. And we got a park paid for by the developer on the end, 75 feet by 100 feet. These are the types of things we need to do in order to make the development work with the community and enhance the community as opposed to overburdening the community with traffic. So I heard that the top unit on that building sold for $12 million. So
I will not. I plead the fifth, whether I bought it or not.
Okay.
Just in case
Okay.
you were trying to ask me. I
But
won't.
you'll be my neighbor.
Oh,
If you-
perfect then. Okay, so again, the issues most cities have is transportation or traffic.
Right.
And Coral Gables is a thoroughway for people from the north and the south. Most people don't know, even Coral Gables residents don't know that Coral Gables goes all the way to 144th Street
Yeah.
down south, all the way up to almost 8th Street, if I'm correct. Correct? The little point.
Well, you have, not only do you have the point, but you also reach up to Flagler in the
Right.
northern part of the Gables. I've biked the entire route, so.
Are you a cyclist or are you a biker? You're not a
Well,
cyclist with a pack of people? You do
no,
that?
not with a pack of people.
Okay.
No, this is more me just getting out to
Recreation.
relax.
So what are the major issues that you see that Coral Gables can improve in?
Well, we've talked about development and some of my thoughts and ideas on development. I think we need to incorporate pedestrian corridors in a comprehensive way to encourage people to not you get downtown, into the central business district. We have the craft section we've started discussing. That can be very well designed to not detract business. Okay, we have enough retail on the ground level floors, but to enhance the situation for all residents. And I spoke with Chief Hudak as well. I've known Chief Hudak for a very long period of time. My career spanning from.
Didn't you go to UM when you went there?
Pardon?
Was he a football player when you went there?
When I went to go see him now?
No, when you were at UM, wasn't he playing football there then?
I wasn't out on a football field. I was too busy, at
Trying
the
to
time.
get education.
Trying to get education, and I had a load of credits I was taking. So I wasn't out on a football field. I was more into the swimming pool at the time. So, that was that
All
issue.
right, so we get transportation. And the challenge we have is, I think, well, not a challenge. People love Miracle Mile to eat there or in Coral Gables at night, because they feel safe.
Right. It is a nice area.
And people go, well, I could go here, but they don't feel as safe. But when you go to Coral Gables at night, you feel safe. Why? These are not Coral Gables outsiders come in, they feel comfortable. Why is that?
Well, because we have a great police force. And our police force can use some help too, because we need additional resources for the police force. Slow down the traffic. You get cars coming off of Lejeune Road. They're coming at 40, 45 miles an hour.
You mean when they turn into Miracle Mile?
Well, when they turn into my streets, I can tell you that.
When they turn west.
When they turn west, I've seen it clocked. So it's not my imagination. I've seen them coming in at those speeds, and it's natural. It's like you're coming off the turnpike
because it's a wide road. The wider the road, the faster people go. And when there's not trees, if in some of the streets in Coral Gables, the trees are covering the streets, so people for some reason drive slower. I don't know if it's factual, but it seems like that.
A little bit. But the other thing that they do is they also go down the center, so they feel a little more comfortable going faster.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, other issues that we have. What's your thoughts on Miracle Mile? Because the big issue is it was delayed because the mayor had COVID, and so they delayed the meeting to January, I assume.
Well, it's also been delayed so we can have more resident input. We always gain from resident input, and business input as well, as to what is necessary to enhance Miracle Mile, to encourage people to go down there. We've had a number of things hit Miracle Mile. Aside from the Amazon issue, you had
what Amazon issue?
The Amazon is, people are ordering from Amazon, predominantly Amazon, as opposed to their local businesses.
Okay. The other thing is streetscape.
Streetscape hit it, and then
Brutal.
COVID hit it.
Great. Streetscape hurt them for a while. COVID's hit it. But we just did an editorial last week that we have to have a do-over, and they did it. They need to review the facts and make sure that we get input from everybody.
Right.
One hand, the Miracle Mile is a beautiful place just to visit, little mom and pop shops, but they're not mom and pops anymore. 40 years ago, they were mom and pops. Now they can't afford the rent, so bigger merchants are going in there. So question is, do you go up? Do you have parking off-site? Are they thinking about putting condo apartments up above it? Is that what they're saying?
wouldn't doubt there are people that would like to accumulate enough lots, and for the residents that, don't understand that, you can't go up if you don't have enough lots
Well,
accumulated.
that's correct. And the zoning is not changing. The zone is zoned for 7 or 8 stories.
Oh, yeah.
It's the issue about parking, correct?
It's the issue about parking. So if you have a mom and pop shop, right now you are using remote parking.
Correct. There's it's a luck you park on Miracle Mile.
It's totally luck.
And then you get nicked by somebody else's car banging into your door.
Right. So how do we make it work for the smaller pieces of property?
Correct.
Okay. And who should get the off-street parking is one of the main issues. I mean, these are things that residents can think about. So if you provide that carrot, if you want it, for the smaller pieces of property to be able to, if they need to build a new building, to maintain the off-street parking. And we have excellent A1 parking facilities that also provide, the little freebie to get them around. So if it's raining, it's hot, you encourage people to still want to go downtown because you have a circulating freebie from that parking garage to the locations on Miracle Mile. Because people don't want to walk.
That's correct. Drow and Coral Gables are two of the few cities in Dade County, Miami Beach a little bit, that's trolleys, freebies. They're trying to work with the community to make it happen.
That's right.
Drow, you can live, work, and play in Drow. Coral Gables is almost like that. If you live there and work there, you don't need a car.
Within that circulating area, yeah.
Right.
I mean, because at first when they put it in, I couldn't get it at my house. Now they expanded it, at least into that area where some of these buildings that have larger populations can now pick up the freebie and go directly down to the mile. It's been an excellent draw. I mean, you can go to Biltmore Hotel now on the freebie. You can go to the Douglas Metro Rail. So if you miss the trolley, you can get there. Or if it's too blazing hot, to stand out there and wait for the trolley.
Right, exactly. There's the first mile, last mile, and transportation, and you guys, City of Coral Gables, is trying to solve those issues.
Right.
The gas station. Well, what's it called?
The Wawa.
The Wawa. Big issues about that, but it was approved already. Correct?
Yes, I know I can't stop the water from flowing that's already flowed. Maybe it can be revisited if there's a constitutional issue. I haven't looked at that.
It's just interesting, to me, there was interesting, was historical property, who, what, and where. I had a commissioner call me and talk to me about it, well, 2 commissioners, but it's an interesting thing. That part, do you need another gas station, on US 1? The flow of traffic going from, I call it the fire station street. I don't even know what the street is on US 1. The fire station to Ponce, it's like standstill on US 1.
Right.
Okay, so what seat are you running for? I'm
running for the seat that Vice Mayor Lago is vacating to run for mayor. That's Group 2, not the and this is citywide seat.
Right.
This is not region by region.
Look who's calling me. Donald Trump's calling me. So it's a citywide election. How are you planning to reach the residents of Coral Gables?
I'm going door to door right now.
And it's great, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. The reception that I've received from people is amazing. I mean, it's a lot of people. I mean, it's a lot of walking.
You're going to stay 6 feet. I think going door to door, you'll find out issues that you didn't know about. Am I correct?
That's true. But it also gives people a chance to meet you face to face. And there's nothing like it. So I have received
so
very
the
good
election's
reception.
in April. So you got January, February, March. You got give or take 2.5 months. You got about 75 days.
Right.
How many doors you planning to knock on?
As many as I physically can, and as many people as I possibly can talk to. I've been responding to every person that's reached out to me and answering their questions. Okay. And I see you're looking at some of the stuff that I've posted about parks, and you see that I'm there with my 2 rescued greyhounds.
Yeah, adorable. Now I see that you want to talk about the parks. Coral Gables has a lot of parks. What should they do? They need to be improved? Do they need more and more green? When I say park, a green area.
A green area, yes. Parks need to serve the neighborhood. Like the Villa Valencia Park, before it's built out, the neighbors themselves will be, meeting and putting together their thoughts as to how that park should succeed. Is it going to be built for something for children to use? Are we going to put some play equipment in there? Are we going to have an open green space?
So the neighbors are going to talk about it.
Neighbors are going to talk.
There's no
about
parking in there, correct?
No parking. This is supposed to be a local walk-to park.
And those parks are going to be used. It's great when they have local parks because there's no cars. You're within 2 blocks. You take your children there. You want your free time. You want to sit. You want to meditate. That's the park for that neighborhood, correct?
That's the park for that neighborhood.
And hats off to Coral Gables, who's been doing that. They're buying lots up, and I think it's a great idea, as many as they can.
Right.
The green area is healthy. Cutler Bay, there was a 22 acres on Old Cutler, and it was zoned for apartments. So the mayor goes, nope, to the developer. We're going to buy that land,
right,
and we're going to trade you, give you money, and you're going to use our old city hall for a better place for condos. So the city worked to make sure for traffic patterns. I think that Coral Gables is moving that direction.
Yes.
And I like the idea that you meet with the local neighbors because some park guy might think we need this, but the neighbors are the ones who are going to be using it.
Right. And, we have a lot of children in the area. We have a lot of dogs in the area, too.
It's changing. Coral Gables didn't have a lot of dogs, didn't have kids like that. Now it is flourishing with kids and dog walkers, correct?
It is. That's why we have 2 refuse stations for dogs within my own block. So it's busy. There's a lot of dogs.
The waterways. Most people don't realize Coral Gables has a bunch of water going right out to the bay.
It does. The fertilizer's an issue. Roundup's an issue. Chemicals are an issue.
Can you explain that? Most people don't understand what that's about.
Which part of it?
Roundup. You mean you spray Roundup on a rainy day, goes into the drain goes to the waterways brings it to the bay.
Right. It kills things. That's what it's designed to do. When I was on the sustainability board, I urged the city of Coral Gables to stop using Roundup on the golf courses in the public areas. Turns the grass brown, and then it doesn't look pretty either. But it gets down into the drains. It leads to the waterway immediately. So it's a very big concern.
Again, most people don't understand. The drains on their streets go into the canals. It goes into the bay. Am I correct?
Most of them do, yes.
Yeah, so most people don't know that.
Yeah, and then for the drains that don't, they're so close to the water table, it bleeds right down into the aquifer immediately. So it's a big concern.
I don't know the figure. How many miles do you have of waterways? Coral Gables has quite a bit, don't they?
Yes, they do have quite a bit. I don't know the exact figure, but we have an enormous amount of waterways, and they're all very important. So
I think one of the things to do when you get elected, meet with your state reps, because Coral Gables has a couple of them in each area because you're in a funny area. I think you have two state reps.
I've met with them before. I met with the prior ones before, all talking about the funding issues that we need to deal with the waterway issues, the septic to sewer issues. All those are critical issues in infrastructure that need to be addressed.
So in the first 100 days, what will you do when you get elected? Your first goals?
My first goals are, number one, to continue the outreach to residents to make sure they receive notice, that they can understand what the issues are that are coming not only before the commission, but before Planning and Zoning Board. Commissioner Force helped that issue along.
Who did?
Commissioner Force, by requiring the e-news to include messaging regarding issues coming up before the commission itself. I think the Planning and Zoning Board issues need to be added to that as well. People don't realize it, but the Board of Architects is also very influential on what happens before our community as far as park design and so forth. So we need better participation, more notice from the residents. The little tiny paper signs that go on a tiny little stick, are nothing more than a postcard size to notify you that something is coming in your neighborhood.
And most people don't know what it is. Dade County's trying to pass an ordinance to eliminate that stuff. I think Coral Gables and every city needs to be more transparent, let people know. Miracle Mile issue, I'm going to bring that up. They had like 20 meetings, supposedly. That's what everybody says.
Yes.
By Zoom. It was a terrible time because people weren't paying attention. But I think one of the things that Coral Gables needs to do in every city, be more transparent.
Absolutely more transparent.
And if there's an issue in your neighborhood, you want everybody to have input, correct?
I want everybody, business owners and residents, to have input. And if you look at what those meetings were, and I'm using quotations, a lot of those were working groups so that people that are architects and professionals could provide input to the city. That's wonderful, but you cannot call that a public meeting for all, because it wasn't a public meeting for all.
Well, I think they agreed they're going to have another meeting and talk about it.
Yes.
But we just want everybody to have input. So tell me, the first 100 days, go. You get sworn in April what? 5th, 6th, 7th?
I don't know the swearing.
Okay, you get sworn in. What's the first 100 days?
That assumes we don't have a runoff. We have transportation issues to address. We have the transparency issues that we need to address as well. We have issues regarding sustainability. I call it sustainability. We have the waterway issues to address as well, and more outreach to the neighbors. I'm going to be doing, regular meetings, open door office hours, and appointments with residents and businesses. And they can either schedule a meeting or they can come in my office, open office hour days, where they can meet with me in person. I need to hear their input, because I don't know what's going on in their block. If they have a drainage issue, and there's plenty of drainage issues in the city that need to be addressed as well. And then, we move forward on all the other issues that is facing our business owners as well as the residents as a result of COVID. COVID has, been very detrimental to the restaurants, and we have to work with them. I know that it was already passed, but it was one of my suggestions to the commission that we expanded the period of time that we allowed open air dining for the restaurants.
Coral Gables, hats off to the city manager and the mayor. They led the way in Dade County. The manager and mayor jumped right on it, opened the doors for restaurants to be outside in the Chamber of Commerce. Some cities acted slower and it affected.
Right, and they expedited the permitting.
Right, that's correct.
There's no fee permit to be able to expand those areas so these restaurants can survive, because we don't want to lose our businesses. They're very, very near and dear to our heart.
Coral Gables is known for their restaurants. Not that they're great or not great, I don't know. A burger is a burger is a burger, except for Clutch Burger. That's outstanding. But Gables is known for great service. Their restaurants. Okay, what else? You got 70 more days. Go. What else?
I got 70 more days. I mean, it's an ongoing project all the time. You've got so many issues that the residents want to have taken care of. We have, in addition to the traffic issues, we have the speeding issues, through our neighborhoods. People need a number of things to slow those down, including more police on the streets to be able to, deter these people. You go to Pinecrest, people aren't going to be speeding. Back in my day and back in your day, you knew.
Hey, wait, I resemble that.
You resemble that? You knew you weren't going to go speeding through Medley, or you were going to have a ticket.
Or Biscayne Park, or El Portal. You already know that. They tell you, come through, we're going to give you a ticket.
Yeah, and there's certain areas north of Florida that are very vigilant as well. You don't speed through there because you know you're going to get a ticket. You know you're going to be sitting on the side of the road for half an hour, roughly.
At least.
All
right. So now we're going to find out who Kathy Anderson really is. You ready?
Kathy?
Anderson, sorry.
No, it's Help Me, Rhonda.
What?
Okay. Right?
All right. Ready? Your favorite football team. Go.
University of Miami.
Any taco place you go in the Gables?
Oh, my goodness. Taco places. Not too much. I'm not much of a spicy person.
Okay. Where do you eat hot dogs?
I don't. I eat healthy.
What?
I eat healthy.
Well, because we get older, we eat healthier.
Yes, I have to.
Burgers. Where do you eat burgers?
If I eat them, I'm usually eating them at Green Gables.
Where?
Green Gables Cafe.
Where's that? What street
On
is that?
Alhambra.
Oh. You know who has a great burger? Clutch Burger
They do.
and Burger Bob's.
Burger Bob's, yes.
If you eat fish, what restaurant would you go out in the Gables?
Oh,
Before this whole virus thing.
Before this whole virus thing. There's so many. Oh, my goodness.
No particular one?
No particular one because they're all great.
Sushi. What sushi restaurant do you go to?
I don't eat sushi. I'm sorry.
I don't either. I don't either. Pizza.
I love your hats, though.
Pizza. Where do you eat pizza?
No, I don't eat it anymore. You know, age with age comes wisdom and dairy intolerance.
All right. I was going to ask you what your favorite animal was, but we already know Greyhound dogs.
Well, all dogs.
Okay.
All dogs. I've had border collies. I've had labs. I've had, German Shepherd mixes.
Christmas. As a kid, do you remember your favorite Christmas gift as a kid?
Oh, my favorite Christmas gift. My favorite Christmas gift, frankly, was Toggle.
Who?
Toggle toys. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Ages.
Superhero as a kid.
Superhero as a kid. Oh my God, I love Snoopy. He was
Snoopy.
my super.
Okay, this is the easy one for you. Your husband's birthday. Go.
October 4th.
Mother-in-law's.
Oh, my mother-in-law's was. Oh no, you're embarrassing me. March.
Okay, good enough.
March. Mid-March.
All right, your
16th,
three kids.
18th.
Your three kids' birthdays. Go.
April 20th. July 24th.
These you better get right.
Yeah, I better. Yes.
What's the last one? You three?
I had two kids.
Okay. Last question. The magic of the mix. What makes a successful elected official?
Transparency, communication, listening to your residents, responding to your residents, responding to your businesses, responding to their problems, and trying to resolve them. So
that's good enough. So, Rhonda, I want you to look at that camera and tell everybody why they should vote for you.
you need a voice on a commission that's willing to vote for what you want. I'm running because I see that that's needed. I've been thinking about this for many years. I've participated on many boards. Recommending boards, however, can't make it happen. I've made lots of recommendations, and I've seen lots of things kicked by the wayside. Some things have happened. Others have not. And I'd like to be the voice for you, of someone that's going to listen to you.
That's great. I did call her Kathy. That's a famous actress. You must be related to her or something. Rhonda Anderson is running for the city of Coral Gables. Elections in April. If you want to reach out to her, what's your webpage?
Rhonda for coralgables.com.
We're typing in right for Coral Gables. Fix Coral Gables, Coral. And they can reach out to you on your webpage. That's correct. We're going to post it.
There's an email link there.
Right. We got it right there. There it is. That's correct.
You've got it.
Reach out to her. This is a great opportunity to reach her. Hey, new blood on the commission. There's going to be two commission spots open, correct?
Two commission
and
spots.
Some people running for mayor. It's exciting. It's a new time. A lot of issues going up. Hey, this city commission will listen to you, correct?
Yes.
When you get elected, and this is your opportunity to tell them what you want to know, what's going on, everything in this city. City of Coral Gables is one of the greatest cities in the country. Got the best hotels, best restaurants, great people, and the 3 Ps I talk about all the time. The residents care about great police,
right?
Great parks,
mm-hmm.
That's a P, and public schools. And Coral Gables has all that. And let's enjoy it. Please vote. Vote for Rhonda if you have Rhonda, not Kathy Anderson, the blonde. So you got me all confused.
No. It's Help Me Rhonda. So therefore,
there it is.
It's it's not Help Me Howard. It's Help Me Rhonda.
Okay, it's a great day. I'm a little tired.
Sorry.
Great day at Miami Community Newspapers. Rhonda's here. Look up her webpage and call her. And any other questions? She'll be knocking on your door soon, right?
Yes, I will.
And we have some Cuban coffee. You want some Cuban coffee?
Will it warm me up?
Will it warm up?
Yeah. No, I like.
All right,
coffee.
everybody have a great day. Grant Miller here.